Awesome. So let's go on to we did a blog post. We did a blog post recently about No-See-Ums. We were going to make a video about it, but we couldn't keep up with the No-See-Ums, so we just did a blog post, and it wouldn't have been very interesting either. But they can be, being honest, they can be a bit of a problem. No-See-Ums are known as sand fleas elsewhere in the country. They're basically the same thing. And we always getting asked.
This was from a question on the Facebook, so a comment. I mean, everyone that's visited Sanibel knows about No-See-Ums, and we wanted some local opinions.
So one time I've been here when I first moved here from England in 1999. I think they like my English blood, and I literally have scars on my ankles and not so much my elbows, but I used to get bitten to pieces by them. And they're not there all the time, but normally when the wind is lighter, you can find them.
And dawn and dusk.
Dawn and dusk, which is when I'm always out photographing. And they literally used to leave welts on me. I've got to say that after 21 years or however long I've been here, they don't bother me nearly as much now. I know that they're biting me and I don't really scratch after. But I know other people are not the same way. So when I was in between appointments, and there used to be a restaurant here owned by a guy called Andy that was called the Hungry Heron. It was on Palm Ridge Road for a very long time.
It's now Rosie's.
Now Rosie's Cafe, yeah. And what I do is
great. Go check it out.
Yeah, it was very good. What I'd do is because I was in between appointments, I wouldn't have time to sit and get a table, so I'd just sit at the bar, order some bar food, and then chat away, and then go and do my next shoot. And the bartender there, his name was it Damien?
Yeah, could have been
20 years ago anyway. But basically, he said his grandfather had lived on the island for years and was born on the island. And I was talking to him one night because I'd just been bitten to pieces by the No-See-Ums, and I said, "What? Any ideas?" And he said, "My grandfather swears by baby oil." Now, look, I just got to say, anything that we're going to recommend, we're not. This is not medical advice, and obviously we can't tell if you're going to be allergic to it. Or if it's any good for you, take it with a pinch of salt, but please do try it if you want to. But he said baby oil. Obviously, you couldn't go out in the middle of the day and use baby oil because you're going to get burnt to pieces. But the idea is No-See-Ums are so small that if you put baby oil on your skin, they basically land on you, and then they basically just die because they drown in the oil. So that was the first time I'd heard. I actually texted a friend of mine, Dave, who's a Dave Godfrey, who's a fishing guide in the area, a good friend of mine. And he said the same thing. So there's two people who said baby oil. And I can attest it definitely works. The only problem is with being a photographer with camera gear, it's not really practical because obviously, it gets all over my camera gear. But if you just did your legs or something like that.
Or just if you wear long pants and do your ankles or.
Yeah.
And luckily the biggest problem is at dawn and dusk, so you don't have to worry about getting sunburn if you are using baby oil. Don't do it during the day.
Right. And then with that, we asked the same question. We did a video a couple of weeks ago about the beauty shop. And
okay, yes, the Sanibel Beauty Salon, which has been in existence for 75 years. We interviewed the second generation owner, Mary Ann Banta, and you asked her about it?
Her husband, who's a fishing guide. Joe, he was saying that his first reaction, I asked him about No-See-Ums, his first reaction, olive oil, which I hadn't heard of, but sounds a little bit more palatable, definitely more palatable, but a little bit better than baby oil. But I think the common thread is oil, because they will actually drown in the oil.
Right, and then Max, you have a buddy who's a fishing guide now.
A friend of mine that I grew up with, Tatum Stewart. I actually asked him because he takes people from out of town out on the boat all the time, and he recommended Ben's insect repellent wipes, which he linked to me on Amazon, which we'll put in the blog post. Those are probably a better remedy during the day because they're not going to affect you getting sunburnt.
Right, and it's portable.
He's tried everything. He's been fishing since before he could walk, so he's tried everything, and he said these things are the SHIT is what he said.
Perfect.
And what's the name of his company? Is it Catch Me If You Can?
Catch Me If You Can. Yeah, Catch Me If You Can. Fishing
Charles,
guides. So look him up.
He does a great job. So we'll link him in the description.
I'll link him in the blog, so we can do that.
Yep. And these father and son team, they both fishing guides, and they're
for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, so great guys, and check out their charters.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's Joe's charter? Banta.
Joe
He's out of Castaways.
He's Castaways. Oh, I will link that in the description as well.
Can you look it up quickly, Max?
Yeah.
Joe Banta. He's out of Castaways.
Castaways Marina, which is on Captiva.
Right.
Actually, it's not. It's on Sanibel Bay. It's Santiva, which is right next to Captiva.
Right.
Yeah, so we'd love to
Barefoot charters?
Yeah.
Barefoot charters.
That's right. Yeah.
Perfect.
Check him out too.
Yeah. And if you want to, we'd love to hear your personal remedies. If there's any locals or visitors that have been coming here for a long time, let us know. Put them in the comments below because we would love to share them with everyone else. And if you try something that we've suggested on here, try that. Oh, there's actually another product which I've heard great things about from some people, and some people say it doesn't work for them, but I think it would be worth a try. I think it's No-See-Ums juice. What's the name of it? The actual product
the one that is actually created by a local.
It's created by a local specifically for No-See-Ums, and you might have some luck with it, and we'll link that in the description below. That's actually a lot of people swear by it. I don't think it works for everybody, but it's weird because Laurie
and Avon Skin So Soft. Everybody, a lot of people rave about that.
Say Avon Skin So Soft.
So I feel like it's different for every single person.
Well, that's what I was just about to say.
Do you get bit?
I do not. Well, I must get bit because I'm out at the same time as Dad, but
you don't feel it.
I don't react, I think, is what the difference is.
And then I can say, hand on heart, when I came here, it was absolutely awful. It was terrible. And now they don't bother me at all. Max, do you get bitten?
I get bitten. When we go to shoots together, I'm sitting behind you, and I know how you don't react, and I don't want to be the one reacting in front of the customers, so I'm just like trying my hardest not to do anything, and every once in a while I'll lose it, and I'll have to just swipe them off my leg. It gets me really bad.
Yeah, they're pesky little things. They do tend to go for your ankles and your elbows. So if you know that, then, keep your ankles and elbows covered.
Right. Another thing they say, wear tight clothing. Obviously, ladies can wear leggings. They recommend that too.
If you're not so fashion forward, you can get 100% bulletproof results with like big fly net pants and things like that. But it does look kind of ridiculous on the beach. But then if it works and you want to do it, then
yeah, I know people do that when they go into Ding Darling because they don't spray in Ding Darling. So people actually have these whole head to toe fly or mosquito net suits that they wear.
But just from personal experience, let me just typically they're going to be they're going to be a lot worse up in the mangroves. They actually that's where they are, around the foliage in the mangroves. So if you go down by the water, sometimes if I've got customers that are particularly getting bothered by them, then I'll just get them to go down by the water and just get them ankle deep, and that's enough for a little bit of, because then you've only got to worry about swatting away on your elbows. But it really isn't that big of a deal all the time. It's just something that's occasional, but when it happens, if you are particularly affected by them, then it can be rather annoying.
Right. And then the Island Pharmacy, which is on Palm Ridge Road, has some kind of concoction too, apparently. I've never tried it because I haven't had to.
Have to check that out.
They apparently everybody swears by too. They make some secret concoction. I don't think it's secret, but yeah, a concoction that you can purchase.
Perfect. And then, obviously the wind actually, anytime there's a windy night, you're not going to have them at all. They're so tiny that they just get blown away. But if you are sitting behind a screened enclosure, you're not actually protected from them unless it's a specifically designed screen for those.
Yeah,
because
they actually make screens that are super tightly woven to actually stop them as No-See-Ums.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's make sure you check out the blog post. It's going to be on the sandcapguide.com. And please let us give us some feedback. Let us know of different things that you've tried and what works and what doesn't.
With everybody.
And we will pass it on and share. Can't stress enough. I'd love to make sure you get involved in this podcast. Let us know how we can improve it. If you've got any subjects you want to do. We are going to check out our sponsors in the links below. This takes an awful lot of time and effort to get this done. So we are taking on supporters and sponsors that help out with the Sandcap Guide. I want to mention Breakaway Vacations, Spoondrift Island Bowl, one of the best restaurants on the island, and GatorBites Tailor Nail do the only place locally. They're not on the island, but they're very close.
Just over the bridge.
Just over the bridge that do
Gator.
Gator. So if you fancy a bit of Gator.
Would be a cool thing for tourists to try out.
With that being said, I'm Nick Adams. See you on the next one.
I'm Lori Adams. See you on
Max
the next
Adams.
one.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a
Thanks,
good one,
guys.